Sounds pretty scary, doesn't it? So here's something I tried first. I had some belt dressing. I guess you could just spray water. When I sprayed it on this pulley, which is the air conditioning pulley, it quieted up. Just right in the groove, like basically on the belt. Yeah, it doesn't want to spray. Or if I sprayed it on the crank pulley or harmonic balancer, it would shut up and it'd be quiet for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So I was thinking, what in the world? I thought something with the belt. The belt looked fine. Wasn't really sure what was going on. Is the belt not tight enough? I tried tightening the belt with this pulley. That would help for a while too. I'll show you underneath here. This is the old style belt tensioner. It's manual. You have to adjust it. So basically the way it works is it's got this. That's a better angle. On the bottom it's got a bolt that you can turn. You see how it works in the back here. You can get it in here. It moves the pulley up and down through there, but you have to loosen the nut on the front of the pulley as well. So that's what I did, because that nut actually tightens the pulley against that piece in the back there. So if you loosen it, I didn't have to loosen it too much, but loosened it a little bit, and then I loosened the actual adjustment. And again, you see why, because you're forcing this piece with the bolt that's on the other side of the pulley. It's actually pulling it in. So I loosened it up, and I thought, I didn't know where to go from here. But since I have this off, I'm just going to put some grease in this. So it's got this washer that only goes on one way. And that's the way all these tensioner pulleys are, except most of them are those little 2-inch plastic ones. This is old school again. So I pulled off this dust cover. I figure I'm just going to put some grease in it while I have it apart, and I don't know what is making noise. But I think you know where I'm going with this. It's this pulley, actually. Yet the noise was coming from the crank. When you tighten it, that just seems, I guess, the noise was transferring down the belt, I guess. It's my guess. This is like, it doesn't turn that easy. So I thought, well, I'm going to clean it out. I used some brake clean because that'll dry and it doesn't have really a residue on it. So I tried cleaning this side out first. And listen, it sounds kind of like it's got sand or something in it. I don't know how. It sounds pretty gross now that I have it apart. Hear the crunchies? Of course, this is, how old is this car? It's a 95. We're 2022, just about 2023. Is that 30 years? Something like that's going to be, I guess. So I figured I'll pull the other side off as well. Now it looks like a rubber piece, but the other side of it is actually metal. That's the dust cover. So I kind of bent it, taking it off. But I figured I'll clean this out first. It sure helped. It got a lot quieter the more I cleaned it. So I was like, okay, well, this is pretty good. Figured I'll blow it out with some air. I guess the guy could have just sat it on some rags, like paper rags, and let it dry. Make sure it's nice and dry because you don't want that mixing with the grease. And then I got a grease gun. I had a grease needle. I guess I can put one of those in the description below. They work pretty good for injecting grease into stuff like this. I just tried injecting it in between some of the ball bearings. Didn't want to pack it in too much, because I hear that if you put too much grease in there, it's almost as bad as not having any grease. What a difference. Just quiet. If you're going to just spin it around a little bit, imagine if a person didn't have a grease gun, you could just take some grease in your finger and try and squeeze it through, and if you see it coming through the other side, oh, so this dust cap, I've cleaned it with some brake clean too, because I figured it had some gunk on the inside. The rubber side's face is out, and it should just snap in. Moving around with my fingernail. Quite a bit quieter. So I had that all cleaned up. Of course, I did the same with the other side. I cleaned it nice and as clean as I could. I guess it could have been a teeny bit cleaner on the inside, but it's lasted this long. I don't know what this pulley's worth. I know the smaller ones aren't worth a whole lot, $20 or maybe. But they're quite a bit quieter. This one only goes on one way. The new ones are the same, and that'll sit on top like that. And then the nut will go through that bolt that's through there. So is just basically get that back on. Fairly simple. Don't have to really show you the whole thing. Put that washer on there the right way. Then get the nut back on. Just loosely. And of course get the belt on. And you can see how it moves around there, huh? Here, I'll show you a better. It moves up and down. If you had that nut in the front there too tight, it's going to be squished against the mounting. So I have to, of course, get the belt on there, get the belt on the crank, which is that piece. And then, of course, back on my air conditioning, because I've got air conditioning. Probably be a video on that coming out a little while later. There's the right amount of pressure in there, but it's not working. I don't know why it won't turn on. It's not making any noise. It's not seized up. So once I got it all back on, it looked like it was in the right grooves. Well, actually, it's not completely. What just happened here? Got it all back on. Tried to get it as snug as I can. So between turning this one kind of half snug and then this bolt just snugging up just then it can slide up and down. Go back to this. So basically I'm going to tighten it as tight as I need it to be. Which basically I'm going to go to the top after and keep checking. And I'm not really sure what the spec is here, but usually those kind of belts, the longest part of the belt, if you can twist it 90 degrees, which is that far, not that far, that should be tight. I didn't even make it that tight.
Going the right way.
I didn't do the full 90. I'll speed you up here. I tightened it though, not too bad. Seemed happy with where it was, that's why I'm tightening this one now. This will be my final adjustment. And then started the car up to see if it makes any noise or not. The belt looks good. Everything's on right. And what a difference. Want to make sure that was tight. This is before, remember? Done. Well, that was pretty easy, huh? I guess if you wanted to go real easy, you could just order that tensioner pulley. I don't know what they're worth, and just swap it. I thought it was something going to be catastrophic, something going on with the engine, but thankfully not. That's on the older 3.3. If you like the video, can you give me the thumbs up? It helps YouTube know that I'm doing a good job. If you have an Intrepid, or if you have this engine, but some of the engine things we're going to be doing on the Intrepid will also go on the Caravan. Down in the corner, you can subscribe. This engine, again, I mentioned, is in an Intrepid. If you have an older Intrepid, right above there, above the blue circle, I'll put it'll be a playlist on the Intrepid. Until next time, you and your family stay safe. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye from Uncle Mark. Please subscribe, and you'll get all the notifications. It's easy. The little dog will show you how. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Oh, what the heck? I guess if a person wanted, you could just order the corner. This was on a 1995